I was 17 when the mirror stopped lying to me. Most people at school thought I was invisible, the kind of quiet kid teachers liked because I turned in homework early and never made noise during roll call. But at home, it was just me and Mom. Dad passed when I was little, and we didn't talk about him much. The house still had shadows where his tools used to hang. Mom filled the silence with warm laughter, long hugs, and her strange but gentle habit of humming 70s love songs while folding laundry. We were close. Close enough that I never had to hide my weird questions or stray thoughts. Except one. It started with laundry. Mom had sprained her wrist at the clinic. She's a cardiac nurse, and I volunteered to help. Folding my clothes was quick. But when I reached her pile, something stopped me cold. A silky, plum-colored chemise. I froze, letting the fabric slip through my fingers like water. I had seen her wear it once during a rushed morning routine. But here, in my hands, it felt different, like holding something sacred. I didn't mean to lift it to my face, but I did. That night, I stared at my reflection in the bathroom. I wasn't ugly, but I wasn't me. I tucked my hair back, tried raising one eyebrow, smiled faintly. Still wrong. Still blurry. I didn't know what I was looking for, but it wasn't that person staring back. Over the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about the chemise. Or the lace-trimmed bralette I accidentally brushed against while reaching for a towel. Mom always kept her drawer neatly folded, yet I found myself lingering at it just a little too long. And then one afternoon, she said the strangest thing. "You've been doing my laundry with extra care." She smiled, sipping her tea. "Everything smells better than when I do it." I laughed awkwardly. "I just follow the instructions." She leaned in, her tone playful. "You're not curious what makes it all so soft?" I blinked. Was this a trap? I guess I wonder why girls get all the nice stuff. Guys get boxers that feel like sandpaper. Mom burst out laughing. Well, maybe it's time the world evened out. And just like that, she stood up, walked to her room, and came back holding a folded pair of light blue satin shorts. Feminine, clearly. "Here, try comfort on for size." I didn't ask questions. I just took them. The next morning, I wore them under my school jeans. It felt like a secret no one could steal. That secret became a ritual. At night, after brushing my teeth, I'd quietly borrow a soft camisole or a delicate robe. I didn't wear them long, just enough to feel the world tilt slightly in the right direction. It wasn't about looking like a girl. Not yet. It was about quieting the storm in my chest. One weekend, Mom was away at a medical conference in Boston. I knew the schedule by heart. Saturday she'd be in lectures until 5:30, then dinner with her colleagues, which gave me the perfect window. I stood in her room, sunlight pouring through the sheer curtains. The lace blouse I had admired last week? I picked it up with trembling fingers. Then the pleated skirt. Then tights. And finally, a pale rose headband I had never seen her wear. When I looked at the mirror, really looked, my breath hitched. For the first time ever. I didn't want to look away. Then the door opened. I spun. Mom stood in the doorway holding her phone and suitcase, blinking in confusion. The conference got canceled. There was a fire alarm. Flights are a mess, so I just drove back. She stopped. Her eyes scanned me. My trembling hands. My bare, shaking knees. Silence. I stepped backward, panic rising. "I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean. I just wanted to feel." My throat burned. Mom crossed the room and gently took my hands. "Honey," she said quietly, "you don't have to explain. But you do have to breathe." I broke, fell into her arms. And, for the first time in my life, I cried as me. The weight of my mother's arms around me felt like it was holding back the floodgates. I didn't want to cry, but I did in hiccuping, silent sobs. My head buried in her shoulder, skirt rustling against her scrubs, the scent of her floral body mist wrapping around me like a blanket. "I'm sorry," I whispered again. She ran her hand down my back. "For what, sweetheart?" For not telling you." for going into your closet, for not being normal. That last word stuck like glue on my tongue. Mom leaned back and gently tilted my chin upward. "Let me be clear," she said, soft but firm. "You are never going to apologize to me for being you. Ever again." We sat on her bed, me in the outfit I'd borrowed, her still in her work clothes. She didn't rush to take anything off me. She didn't make me change. She just sat there with me in the quiet, letting the moment breathe. Then finally, she asked, "Is this the first time you've dressed like this?" I nodded slowly. "Not exactly. I've been experimenting with softer clothes. Just little things. Camisoles, shorts, some of your blouses. And how does it make you feel?" I exhaled. Right. I don't know how else to say it. It feels like I'm supposed to be this, even if it's just for a little while. Mom smiled. Not mockingly, not nervously, just lovingly. "I'm glad you're figuring yourself out. A lot of people go their whole lives pretending they're not confused. You, at least, are brave enough to explore it." That word brave hit differently. It wasn't a compliment I'd ever felt worthy of before. Later that night, she came to my room with a folded pair of new pajamas, pink plaid pants, and a soft, oversized lavender tee. "These are yours," she said. "I grabbed them last time I was out shopping. I wasn't sure if or when you'd be ready. I guess now is a good time." She paused. "Also, I put in a Target order for tomorrow. Nothing major. Just a few things I think might help. Some of your own clothes so you don't have to keep borrowing mine. Would that be okay?" I blinked, speechless. She added quickly, "You don't have to commit to anything. You don't even need to decide if this is permanent. I just want you to have the freedom to explore who you are without sneaking around." I nodded. "Thank you." "No, thank you," she said, "for trusting me." That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, replaying the way she had looked at me, not with judgment, not with fear, but with curiosity and acceptance. Eventually, I rolled over, grabbed my phone, and opened the Notes app. I typed a name at the top of a blank note. Kelsey. It wasn't a name I had ever said aloud, but it felt like the one that had always been there, waiting for me to claim it. The next few days passed like I was walking in a dream. Mom was careful not to overstep. She'd casually ask if I wanted to try something new, a different color nail polish, a light mascara she used when she was in a rush, or a pair of stretch leggings she said would fit me way better than those stiff jeans. When I said yes, she beamed. When I hesitated, she backed off, no questions asked. She was letting me lead, and I couldn't be more grateful. That Friday, something changed. We were cleaning out the garage, a chore I normally loathed, when we stumbled upon an old trunk. "Was this yours?" I asked, brushing dust off the top. Mom squinted. "Oh wow, that was mine back in college." We popped the latch. Inside were remnants of a different time, photos from the 90s, faded spiral notebooks, a varsity jacket, and under it all, a wooden jewelry box with engraved ivy vines. I opened it. Inside were old hair clips, a few cracked lipsticks, and at the bottom, 2 Polaroids. One was of Mom and a brunette girl in full glam, posing dramatically in a dorm hallway. The other was Mom, in a tuxedo. "You wore that?" I asked, surprised. She laughed. "Yeah, for a queer cabaret night. My roommate and I were experimenting with gender expression." I raised an eyebrow. "I never told you this," she said, "but your mom wasn't always just your mom. I've had my own journey. I thought I was bi for a while, then realized I just hated being put in a box." "So, you get it?" I asked. She looked at me, voice low. "More than you think." The next morning, a package arrived at the door. A soft pink hoodie, a new brush, a compact mirror with a constellation pattern, my very own pair of opaque tights. Each item was small, but together, they felt like permission. Mom watched as I opened the box, one item at a time. "I know this doesn't make you a girl. Clothes don't do that," she said. "But they're tools. They help us express things that words can't always say. I looked down at the hoodie in my lap, speechless. Then I said it. Out loud. I think I'm Kelsey. The room was silent. Then Mom smiled, no shock, no hesitation. Well, Kelsey, she said, reaching for my hand, I'm honored to meet you. And that was the moment I felt seen, truly seen, for the very first time. It started with a walk to the mailbox. Mom had left early for her Saturday shift at the clinic, and I was still floating in that pink hoodie she got me. No makeup, just my natural face. Hair brushed flat, not styled. But I felt good, comfortable, like I belonged to myself. I pulled the hoodie over my head, slipped on some leggings, and tiptoed outside. It was early, not many neighbors out yet. I figured I'd make it to the mailbox and back before anyone noticed. But halfway down the driveway, I heard it. A bike tire crunching gravel. I froze. Hey. Whoa, Kelsey. I turned. It was Ethan Marshall, a guy from school I barely knew, except that he sat 2 rows behind me in algebra and played guitar in our spring talent show. He had earbuds in, one hanging loose. He looked stunned. Wait, sorry, he said quickly. Was that wrong? Should I not call you that? My breath caught in my throat. Yeah. I mean, I go by Kelsey now. Sort of. Not officially. Just. I stopped, cheeks burning. Ethan nodded. Okay, cool. That's really cool. And then, almost shyly, he added, You look happy. After he rode off, I stood there blinking at the spot where he'd been. He hadn't mocked me. He hadn't stared. He hadn't laughed or called me weird. He saw me. And didn't flinch. That tiny moment cracked something open in my chest. A possibility I hadn't dared believe in. Maybe the outside world wasn't all danger. Maybe parts of it were ready. Later that night, Mom came home with takeout, Thai curry and egg rolls, and a mystery bag from a boutique downtown. You got something? I asked. She nodded. A little present. I figured, after today, you might need this. She opened the bag and pulled out a small leather-bound journal. Gold-edged pages. A simple crescent moon embossed on the front. For writing, she said. For dreams, fears, questions. All of it. You're going to be going through so much, Kelsey. This is your safe place. I clutched it to my chest. I love it. I thought you might. The next Monday at school, things shifted. I wasn't out, not publicly. Not fully. But I had traded my old cargo jeans for fitted khakis. Wore a hoodie that actually hugged my waist. Swapped my sneakers for canvas flats. Lip balm with a hint of tint. Not screaming girl, but whispering something close. And someone heard it. At lunch, a girl from history class, Nia Reyes, a total fashionista, slid into the seat next to me. Hey, she said casually. Cute bag. I blinked. Oh. Thanks. Is it fossil? The crossbody style's coming back. Where'd you get it? I stared for a second. Then answered, my mom got it. From an old trunk in the garage. She grinned. Vintage. Even better. She paused. You look more relaxed than usual. Lighter. I almost choked on my juice. You're not going to, ask questions? She tilted her head. About what? About why I look different. Nia shrugged. I mean, I figured you were figuring something out. Everyone's always so obsessed with labeling people. But me? I just vibe. By the end of the week, I had a new group at lunch. Not the jocks. Not the robotics crew. Not the theater kids. Just Nia, her best friend Kiara, and this chill trans boy named Jace who had come out in freshman year and spent most of his time sketching anime girls with swords. And the best part? They called me Kelsey. Every single time. Of course, not everyone was kind. There were whispers in the hallway. A snort here. A smirk there. Mr. Pritchard, my PE teacher, still called me young man even after I corrected him twice. Some girls gave me side eyes in the bathroom. But I felt stronger than I ever had, because at home, I was Kelsey. And in pockets of school, I was Kelsey. And most importantly, in the mirror, I saw Kelsey. One night, after a particularly rough day, a boy in the hall had mimicked my walk. I came home, slammed the door, and threw my bag down. Mom was cooking. She turned with concern. What happened? I tried to hold it in, but my eyes burned. Why do they care so much? I snapped. Why does it bother them if I wear something softer? If I move a little different? Mom turned off the stove and walked over. Because you make them question things they never had to think about, she said gently. And people fear questions more than anything. I looked down. I don't want to be a symbol. I just want to live. You are living, Kelsey. Every single day you choose this, choose truth, you're living. And I know it's scary. But you're not alone. She brushed my hair back. I see you. And I believed her. But I also knew something big was coming. Something I wasn't ready for yet. Because the spring dance was only 2 weeks away. And I had just been asked by Ethan. The question echoed in my head all night. Do you want to go to the spring dance with me? Ethan had asked it so casually, like it was no big deal. We were both walking out of school on Friday afternoon when he turned, hands in his pockets, and dropped the question like a pebble into water. I had blinked. Like, as friends? He had shrugged. Friends, sure. Or more. I mean, only if you want. My stomach flipped. Was he serious? Did he know everything? Yeah, I stammered. I'd like that. His smile was quiet, almost shy. Cool. Saturday night, then. When I told Mom, her reaction wasn't what I expected. She didn't squeal. She didn't grill me. She just smiled warmly, set down her coffee, and said, Then I guess we'd better start getting you ready. Wait, you're okay with this? She nodded. He asked Kelsey, right? Not the name on your birth certificate. That's all I care about. I swallowed hard. Mom, what if he doesn't know? Like, really know? Then you need to decide if you want him to. The week leading up to the dance felt like something out of a movie montage. Mom took me shopping for a dress, a deep teal, off-the-shoulder number that made my figure feel real, like I was becoming instead of pretending. We found kitten heels that didn't kill my feet and a little clutch bag that sparkled in the light. Then came makeup lessons, posture coaching, voice-softening exercises. Mom brought out an old pair of fake lashes and taught me how to apply them like a pro. It was exhausting, but I loved every second. And yet, under all the excitement was a quiet dread. What if Ethan doesn't accept me? Friday night, I sat by my window journaling in the moonlit quiet. Every time I thought of Ethan holding my hand, I smiled. Every time I imagined his reaction if he found out I was trans. I wanted to disappear. But part of me knew, if this night went well, I'd have to tell him. Soon. Not just for him. For me. Saturday came. I shaved everything. Took a long bubble bath. Did my makeup twice. When I walked down the stairs that evening, Mom put a hand to her heart and whispered, My God. Kelsey. I smiled nervously. Too much. No. Just exactly enough. Ethan arrived with a single white rose and a navy blue blazer. He looked stunned when he saw me. Wow. You look incredible. I blushed. You don't look so bad yourself. He laughed. This might be the first time someone outdressed me. At the dance, everything felt surreal. People stared, sure. Some whispered, but others smiled, nodded, or even complimented me. Is that Kelsey with Ethan? Dang, she showed up tonight. Jace gave me a thumbs up from across the gym. Nia mouthed, You look stunning. And Ethan? He was a perfect gentleman, hand on my lower back, spinning me in time with the music, listening to everything I said with real attention. For a moment, I forgot to be scared. I forgot I wasn't out to him. I just was. Just me. After slow dancing to a cheesy Ed Sheeran song, we stepped outside for some air. The night was crisp. Crickets sang in the dark. Ethan turned to me. I'm really glad you came with me. Me too. Then he looked at me, not just at me, but into me. You know, I heard some rumors this week. About you. My stomach twisted. Oh, yeah. Some people were talking, saying stuff like, you used to be someone else. That you weren't always. He didn't finish. I stared down at my shoes. Is it true? He asked, voice low. I hesitated. Then, slowly, I nodded. Yes. He looked away for a second. The silence felt like a held breath. Then he asked, are you happy now? I blinked. What? Are you happier being you? I nodded again. So much happier. Ethan smiled, gently, genuinely. Then I don't care what name you had before. I like this you. The tears came faster than I expected. Not sad ones. Not scared ones. Relieved ones. Ethan reached out and took my hand. You're brave, Kelsey. I didn't feel brave. I felt like I was falling. But somehow, in that moment, it felt like falling into the right place. Monday morning hit like a freight train. At first, everything seemed normal. Whispers, yes, but I'd gotten used to those. I walked the halls as Kelsey. Head high, chin forward. My hair tied back in a messy braid Mom had helped me practice. There were stares, but no words. Until second period. I had just sat down in history class when a boy at the back, Caleb, one of the lacrosse meatheads, laughed under his breath and nudged his friend. They both looked at me, and then their phones lit up. I didn't know what they were looking at until Nia slid into the seat next to mine, her expression grim. Hey, she whispered. Don't check your phone right now. Why? She hesitated. Someone posted an old picture of you. From last year. Before everything. I blinked. My breath caught. What? It's you. As you used to be. In gym clothes. And they're calling you Kenny the pretend girl. I felt like the world collapsed inward. The entire period was a blur. My ears buzzed. My vision tunneled. I kept my eyes glued to the desk, cheeks burning hot. I didn't cry. Not yet. But I felt small. So small. When the bell rang, Nia pulled me aside and said, you don't have to face this alone. I can't believe someone would do that. She gave me a sad smile. They did it because you're getting attention. Because you showed up at the dance and looked beautiful and happy and you made them uncomfortable. People like Caleb don't understand what they can't control. I don't even know how they got that photo. You uploaded it to a shared school project last year, remember? Probably got pulled from there. I felt sick. My past had been dragged out like a weapon. That night, I sat on the floor of my room while Mom made tea. She listened quietly while I explained what happened. No interruptions. No forced pep talk. Just silence, the good kind. When I finished, she set the tea down and knelt in front of me. You know what I'm going to ask, she said softly. I nodded. Do you want to go back to hiding? I shook my head. Good. Because you can't. Not after coming this far. But everyone saw it. Everyone knows now. Kelsey, she said, brushing a strand of hair from my cheek. They knew before this. Anyone who really looked, anyone who matters already knew. And they still loved you. Still saw you. But what if they laugh at me? She squeezed my hands. Then we teach them what it means to laugh at someone stronger than they'll ever be. The next day, I wore the same teal dress I had worn to the dance. It was a bold move. I paired it with flats instead of heels, light makeup, and a butterfly pendant Mom gave me years ago before either of us knew how symbolic it would become. I walked into school through the main doors. And yes, the whispers were still there. But so were Nia. And Jace. And Ethan, who waited for me near the lockers with a grin on his face. You're glowing, he said. I feel radioactive, I replied, half joking. He shrugged. Good. Make them squint. By third period, something incredible happened. Someone had taken the cruel photo from yesterday and edited it. They added a tiara. Sparkles. The caption read, "She was always royalty." Just took the world a minute to see it. It had over 400 likes by lunch. Nia leaned over and whispered, "Guess who made that edit?" "Who?" She smirked. "Jace." I turned to look at him across the table. He winked. "Consider it digital justice," he said. By the end of the week, a new energy buzzed in the air. Not acceptance, exactly, but curiosity, interest. Conversations started shifting. Someone stopped me in the hallway and asked where I bought my shoes. Another girl asked about my nail polish. Even teachers started saying Kelsey without blinking. And Ethan? He stayed. He held my hand when people stared. He walked me to class even when I asked him not to. And one afternoon, he leaned close and whispered, "You're not just brave. You're beautiful." That night, for the first time since my reflection started changing, I didn't flinch at the mirror. I smiled at her. She smiled back. And, for the first time, she felt whole. The end.